Many heroes strive to surpass their limits, to become the best of the best, but only a few can ever surpass their mortal limits, like these two. Saitama, the One Punch Man, and Jiren, the mortal who even the God of Destruction can't defeat. I'm one fish mob, and it's my job to see who would win in a fight. It isn't always easy for the world of One Punch Man. With the human race and sometimes even the world at risk, it needs powerful heroes, and a powerful hero it got. And his name was Saitama. Very little is actually known about Saitama's past. But what is known is that ever since he was a kid, he always wanted to be like the heroes he'd watch on TV. After a battle with a monster on the street, however, Saitama did decide that's what he would become. A hero. He started a daily training routine that would help surpass his normal limits. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 squats, along with running 10 kilometers every single freaking day. He ate 3 meals a day, but only a banana as breakfast, and never used the air conditioner to strengthen his mental resistance. These activities caused Saitama excruciating pain, but it worked. But it came at a great price. Now that Saitama has become the most powerful human to ever exist, very few things really ever challenge him. They either never hurt him, never phase him, and most of the time, all of his battles quite literally ends in one punch. Forever knowing you'll always win may suck, but at least it comes with some benefits. His strength is literally unparalleled, ending many battles with a single punch. He can lift enormous objects comparable to the size of an entire city, at least for a few minutes. He's burrowed through Earth at an immense speed, and while his full power is unknown, the author of the manga has stated he is at least capable of destroying the Earth if he wanted to. Saitama is also insanely fast. He's fast enough to create after images, can track, react, and battle people who can move faster than the eye can see, and he's fast enough to dodge flashy flashes like Speed Flash. Saitama's durability is also unrivaled. He tanked a planet-busting attack from Boros and easily endured it. He withstood the vacuum of outer space, though he had to hold his breath. He jumped right back to Earth straight from the moon, creating a massive crater in the process, and easily endured a merciless attack and thrashing from opponents like Tatsumaki and Boros. And as a result of his abnormally thick spirit, he can resist and brush off psychic attacks pretty easily. And even though most of his battles end pretty quickly, Saitama does hold many techniques. Because most of his opponents can't even pose a threat to him, he typically goes with his normal series, which are his most basic attacks. Like his punch, which is powerful enough to kill most opponents he comes across, and even shatter a meteor. And if he really wants to do some damage, he can throw these punches in a rapid series. But when Saitama does decide to use some of his true power, he uses his Serious series. And these includes his Serious Strike, a punch so powerful it created a shockwave that parted clouds on a global scale and completely negated a beam that was going to destroy the planet's surface. He's also got his Serious Sideways Jumps, a series of rapid side-to-side hopping that creates an array of after images used to trip up and confuse enemies. He can flip the entire battlefield into the air with Serious Table Flip and headbutt his opponent with immense force with Serious Headbutt. Saitama certainly proven he is more than just some person you meet. He's split the atmosphere with a single punch. Shockwaves from his punches can destroy the surrounding landscape, and even adaptive opponents have no idea what to do against him. He instantly backhanded Speedo Sound Sonic to the ground, broke Hammerhead's battlesuit with just the tap, killed Guryu Ganshoop by throwing a normal rock at him, one-shot a bloodlusted Deep Sea King, and even defeated the almighty Boros. But for all of Saitama's great feats, he does have a lot of flaws. Opponents with absurd healing factors have been shown to survive his attacks, and fast opponents have been able to outmaneuver Saitama before. Not to mention, he rarely ever takes things seriously, since, he hasn't found anybody truly on his level yet. Not to mention, he is also somewhat absent-minded. Regardless, Saitama has proven himself to be one of fiction's most powerful characters, and all that challenge him must fear his power. Not much is known about the mysterious Jiren of Universe 11, the most powerful Pride Trooper to ever exist. But what is known is that a long time ago, when Jiren was just a mere kid, tragedy struck. A mysterious villain slaughtered his entire family. Jiren was eventually saved by a man who would become his teacher and trained him in combat. Years later, with new allies, he tried avenging his family by fighting the mysterious villain once more. But they failed. With most of his allies dead and the others giving up on revenge, Jiren was left alone. No longer believing in trust, he devoted his life to becoming stronger, believing strength is justice and that strength was absolute. As such, he had to learn new ways to hone in on his many different abilities. Jiren is a strategist, only using as much power as is needed to defeat his foe. Jiren can perfectly read the movement patterns of any moving object or fighter, and his will is so great he was able to hold back Vegeta's Final Flash and Goku's Spirit Bomb with his mere glare. He's also tough enough to survive in the vacuum of space and casually walk through explosions. Jiren is also one of the strongest characters in Dragon Ball lore. He can cause massive destruction with just the force of his punch alone. He's strong enough to keep up with a Super Saiyan Blue and Shinka Vegeta and can break through tough shields and barriers. Jiren's fast enough to block barrages of attacks, keep up with multiple opponents, and he's also fast enough to match Ultra Instinct Son Goku and even react to Hit's time skip, which literally freezes time itself. But Jiren isn't just all mentality and physicality. He carries a shrink ray, which he uses to shrink and trap enemies in small, portable capsules. Jiren also has a large variety of ki attacks to use. He can fire balls of ki out as blasts, or fire them out as large orbs that expands massively upon impact or electrocutes them before detonating. Jiren can also charge his fists with his own ki to launch much more powerful punches, and not only that, Jiren's ki is powerful enough to serve as a barrier against weaker attacks. He can unleash barrages of powerful attacks so fast he doesn't even seem to move. Speaking of not moving, he can also release his ki at enemies just by staring at them. These eye blasts can unleash a force capable of repelling all but the strongest of attacks. But Jiren's power reaches beyond just this. He can increase his combat abilities by powering up. Once powered up, he is even more powerful than before with new abilities to boot. Like Power Impact, which he fires like a normal ki blast, but increases in size massively. Not only that, his energy barrier is even tougher as well, able to shield Jiren from attacks like Goku's Kamehameha, Vegeta's Final Flash, and even an energy beam from Android 17, at the same time. But this isn't his absolute peak. Once his hidden power is awakened, he truly lives up to its reputation. In his awakened state, he was powerful enough to go toe-to-toe with Ultra Instinct Goku and was even fast enough to bypass the instantaneous defense impulse of Ultra Instinct as well. Jiren definitely deserves the power he possesses. He's the strongest warrior of Universe 11. He's effortlessly defeated Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Berserker Kale, Golden Frieza, and Vegeta. He's defeated Majin Kaiô with the mere force of his punch. He's broke out of Hit's time cage, and his power is said to even transcend time itself, and has successfully outlasted Ultra Instinct Goku. But Jiren is far from perfect. He can be caught by surprise, is overly confident and arrogant, and his usual approach is to let his enemies come to him. But Jiren has proven one thing: to fight him is to certainly seal your fate. Alright, the combatants are set. This battle will have no prep time, no outside help, or home field advantage. Let the battle begin.
Fight!
Well, talk about a head-on assault. Puns aside, it was clear Jiren and Saitama were pretty even in terms of strength, and both could counter each other's immense speed. However, in the end, Jiren easily took this match, so let's break this down. For one, all of Saitama's attacks almost always involves the most basic of combat moves, kicking and punching, something Jiren could easily analyze and counter accordingly. And while Saitama just usually rushes into combat more often than not, Jiren is a strategist, and could easily figure out how much strength he exactly needs to take Saitama down. It also didn't help that Jiren had a much larger array of attacks and techniques that made him much more unpredictable than Saitama. And once Jiren reached his awakened state, the vastly superior speed of this form would be more than enough to overwhelm Saitama. But it wasn't all in Jiren's favor. Saitama was a lot more durable than Jiren was, and could catch Jiren off guard with how powerful he is in contrast to the way he looks. However, that's all Saitama really had going for him. Looks like Saitama just got a little over his head. The winner is Jiren.